split this video in half because I'm just worried that it's not going to record, because that was really frustrating when that happened before. Anyway, we're going up to 10 minutes. Comparing it to the benchmark, you have 48 compared to the 32 you had last time. This is just amazing. Like, not only do you have more workers, but you have a bigger army too. Like last time, I think you had a $2,200 army, so we end up with the same number of troops, more Raxes, more infrastructure overall, as well as more workers. There's just no reason not to do this. Why not get 12 to 16 additional workers without cutting any army? Just makes sense. Do it to it. This is bad. Don't do this. You just look at the clock and say, are 16 Marines going to get anything accomplished at 11 minutes? So there are several reasons why this is bad. First of all, obviously at 11 minutes, there's just nothing that they're going to do. Second, you never want to be attacking just before a crucial upgrade. So you've got 3 crucial upgrades that are all going to be finished pretty soon, and you're going to be attacking before they finish. Very silly. And third, I talked about this last time, the death ball. StarCraft 2 is all about the death ball. A lot of people think that that's a bad thing. A lot of people think that's a big thing. It's a big debate. But everyone agrees that it's a thing. StarCraft 2 is all about the death ball. You can't take half your army and put it in one place and half your army and put it in another place, because he'll kill half your army without losing a single troop, and then kill the other half of your army without losing a single troop. So we're going to watch, eventually this little group of dudes is going to walk up, get nothing at all accomplished. He lost almost nothing and kill all those troops. And that was a very predictable result. Even if he had nothing but queens, even if he had 6 queens and nothing else, he could have held off 16 unupgraded Marines with 6 queens and some transfuses very easily. But at 12 minutes, expecting him not to have anything is very silly. So I didn't like that poke at all. This third, I also don't like the way you're doing this third. You have your army here, and you have the third unprotected up here. If his army comes in and denies your third, and then your army comes out, he gets to fight your army as it's moving. And as we talked about before, moving armies are always clumped up and terrible. It's really hard to get Marines to move and spread out at the same time. It's like impossible. Not completely impossible, but impossible for me, and therefore probably impossible for you. So you basically just have to let him deny your third if he comes over here. If he attacks into your natural, okay, your army is there and he has to run away. But running away costs him nothing. He comes over and says, oh, your army is there, and runs away, and then goes and denies your third. If you take your whole army, empty the bunkers and everything, and put it right here around where your third is morphing, pre-spread, now you get the advantage of having an army that's spread out instead of an army that's in a giant clump. That means that it's going to trade evenly with Ling Bangling, even if you guys are on even upgrades and whatever. It's way better of a situation than having a bunch of clumped up dudes trying to walk over there down the ramp. And then if he attacks your natural, you have a wall in, you have 2 bunkers, you have reinforcements coming out, and you take the army right here that's already pre-spread in like this much area, and they can come in from behind. So you're in the same sort of bad position that your army has to move to get to him, but you're in the good position where you've got the wall in, and you've got the PF morphing, and you're in no rush really to get over there and fight. So also it makes him a lot more nervous for your army to be behind his army with a wall in front. You crush him between a rock and a hard place, and he's very sad. Notice again, this is the same thing I talked about in the TVT you just played. Notice how much bigger your army is than his right now, how much more supply you have than him, how much more money you have than him, how much better you are doing than him, right? This is great right now, but as soon as you hit 200U, it becomes a big, big problem, a very bad thing. So first, I'd like to say that you get way too many workers. I think you go up to 80. Second, I'd like to say right now, your army is bigger than his, probably with better upgrades. Right now, your army is bigger than his, probably with better upgrades. I don't know why you stopped making troops, but you did. So around 15 minutes, you completely stop making troops. Very weird. Probably you're doing this drop, and you're like, I'm being cute in my drop. Look how cute my drop is. La, 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 la. But at the same time, you're not doing anything back home. This drop is hurting you more than it's helping you. I'm not saying don't do drops. I'm saying if you're gonna do drops, macro behind them. And I actually did like your mass drop style. I like having 8 drop ships with 8 times 8 Marines, 64 Marines, all in various places, dropping and moving around and unloading and loading and blah, all that stuff. I think that's a cool style. I think you should stick with it. I'm glad that you tried to do it again. But what's with one drop ship doing a little drop over here? This is just silly. Yeah, get the reactored starport to make you a crap ton of drop ships and do tons of drops all at once. And most importantly, while you're doing those drops, you want to also be making more Marines. Another thing to note, the only reason you got this tech lab was to get these upgrades. Now that it's done, lift, make a reactor, put this on there, make 1 siege tank, or don't make a siege tank, or do nothing with the tech lab. Point is, having a Rax without a reactor on it is just a waste, because it cuts into your production. Another thing to note, look at your total possible production infrastructure, okay? The most money you can possibly spend per minute. This is 250, 250, 250, 250, 125, and then I think this is like 450 or maybe 500. So this is 5, 10, 15, 15 plus 125, okay? So your entire production infrastructure is about 1,600. What's your income? 2,600. So you have an income of 2,600 and a production infrastructure of 1,600. There's no way for you to spend your money, even if you macro perfectly, which you're not going to do because you stop making Marines every time you do a drop. So can you predict what's going to happen? Your money's going to climb super high. So, and this is a byproduct of you being used to playing the wrong way, where you stop workers at 50 and you only have 32 at 10 minutes. You're used to having a certain income, so you build a production infrastructure that can support that income. And then when you double your income, you don't double your production infrastructure, so you get all this additional money and you don't do anything with it. You're like, wee, I've got money, wee. It's coming out of my eyeballs, right? So the way Uber Ups works, Marine medevac, constant aggression, constant drops with lots of upgrades. The way it's supposed to work, your goal, right? Get 2-2 by 14 minutes. Each one of those upgrades takes 3 minutes, right? So that means you have to be starting 2-2 by 11 minutes, which means you have to be starting 1-1 by 8 minutes. So that's your goal. 2 engineering bays starting 1-1 by 8 minutes. Now that's really aggressive, man, because 8 minutes is right when we have the potential of dying to sort of bailing nonsense, which is why we have to have these super thick wall-ins and multiple bunkers and a secondary wall-in and maybe 2 wall-ins up here and all that kind of nonsense, because we need to figure out a way to be safe while also spending a crap ton of money on really early upgrades. So your goal is for 2-2 to finish around 14 minutes. At the same time as you're going to land and make a PF at your third, at the same time as you're going to begin what we like to call relentless suicidal aggression, trading Marines over and over and over and over until he runs out of infestor energy, and then getting to fight Marine against Ling with no infestor energy, meaning you just get to win. But in order to do relentless suicidal aggression stuff, you need to have 7 racks with 7 reactors constantly pumping. So we're going to say, okay, what's my income going to be? You're guaranteed, like absolutely guaranteed, 2 fully saturated bases with 2 mules. You want to have 3 fully saturated bases with 2 mules and a planetary fortress. In the case where you have those 3 bases, your income should be 3K. 7 racks with reactor cores is going to make you 14 Marines at a time, which is going to spend, what's... $1,750, and then making the 2 medevacs at a time is going to bring you up to about 2.25K. So that's enough infrastructure to spend 2 bases worth of money, while having a bunch left over for supply depots, SCVs, command centers, all that other kind of stuff. I'm losing my voice. Sorry.